this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck. These two get on very well, don't worry about it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, Chris and Robbie with us. First time this year. Happy New Year, you two. Keep it clean.
See the hair dye's going well, Chris.
Yeah, there we are. Start as we mean to go on. Your piece in the paper today says that if Manchester United hijack the Alexis Sanchez deal to Manchester City, it would be, what, the greatest steal since Eric Cantona?
Well, that was a headline, Mark. I don't write the headlines.
Here we go. Yeah.
To me, if you're being totally honest, you don't write a lot of the articles.
Probably the most read piece in all
Good ghostwriter.
I just think that... I think he'll go to City, I really do. You know, the only trouble if he goes to City, will he play every week? Will he play every week with the quality they've got? Aguero, Jesus, Sane, you know, De Bruyne, Silva. I think if he went to Manchester United, he'd probably play every week. And I don't think it's about money, not at that level. I think he'll be well paid wherever he goes.
Well, it might be about money, but Arsenal's... I take your point. It might be about Arsenal's money. They may say, even at this late stage of his contract, they won't accept 20 million, they'll accept 30 million. But if Manchester United are going to pay 30 million and City 20 million, even though Arsenal are arguably more of a direct rival of Manchester United, Tim, they might prefer he went to Old Trafford so they get more money.
I'm sure they would, but it's up to the player, isn't it? I mean, he holds the key. I think that he will go to Man City. I think he wants to play in an attacking team, and I think that Pep Guardiola gives him that. He knows Pep Guardiola. Everyone, if you're an attacking player, you want to play for Pep Guardiola at the moment. If you're a defensive player, Matty would tell us possibly you want to go to Old Trafford and play for Jose Mourinho, and it's all about enjoying his day-to-day work, going in every day, enjoying the training, enjoying playing on a match day, and I'm sure he prefers to go to Manchester City, no matter what Man United want to bid.
Well, interesting, your old manager, Arsene Wenger, so Alex said of him when Robin van Persie went to Old Trafford, so Alex said, don't play poker with Arsene Wenger. Whatever anybody thinks about him as a manager at the moment, he's clearly quite good at that game, so maybe Wenger I don't know, does he know what he's doing? Does Wenger hold any cards at all here?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that boils down to stubbornness at times for me. I think when he has something in his mind, he will go to the place where he needs to go to in order to try and achieve it. Now, what's hard for him is that he's lost control to a degree in the sense that the player's now holding all the cards. So it's so dependent on Sanchez that I just feel that Wenger keeps saying he wants him. Of course he does. Well, why would you not want him in your team when you look at Arsenal?
Why did he not play him in midweek then?
I don't know why he wouldn't play him in midweek.
No, well, that's what... Yeah, don't think anyone...
I know they got a draw, but they might have won it with him in the side.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
He hasn't hit the heights, has he, this season at Arsenal? No. And it looks like he's going to go, doesn't it?
Is there any point in Arsenal just saying, no, actually, we'll keep you till the end of the season, even though we lose you for nothing? Because you might get us in the top four.
Yeah, well, that is the whole point. But it doesn't look like that is going to happen. It looks like he's going to be... you know, on his way, they're going to get the money, but they're going to struggle.
Do we pay him for this? It looks like he's going to go. This is insight. It looks
like
he's going to go. Wow,
it looks like he's going to go, Rob. I mean,
where's the insight?
I think Arsene Wenger's got to be sure. He knows the individual. He would have spoken to him every day. He's got to be sure that Sanchez will give everything between now and the end of the season if he's going to keep him. Which
arguably he hasn't necessarily up till now, has he?
Well,
absolutely.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think he gives a bit. I don't. Yeah. OK, this season, I don't think he might have been electric, like you said, but I can't look at him and say that he's been worse than Ozil or Lacazette or those players.
I mean, his 50% is better than Iwobi's 100%, in my opinion. I think that he's a player who all the fans want to see on a team sheet. You want to see Sanchez on a team sheet. If you're in the opposition dressing room, you don't want to see him playing because you know, in one instant, he can turn the game. And the problem Arsene Wenger's got, if Chile had qualified for the World Cup, he would know that he could use it.
Well, this is actually part of... Yeah, it's the one thing that may be outside of Wenger's control.
He would have kept himself nice and sharp, you know, played for Arsenal professionally. He could, well, we don't know the individual, and Arsenal knows him better than me, throw his toys out the pram, down tools, and then they haven't got the money or the player.
You know, I mean, he signed you, Arsene Wenger. You know him well. Is this the difference between Arsenal finishing the top four or not? Because whoever, if they do potentially sign a replacement, chances are there's going to be a replacement from outside the Premier League who will take it. Malcolm has been, you know, the Bordeaux winger has been suggested, whoever, it doesn't really matter. The chances are they'll come from outside the Premier League. They'll need a bit of time to bed into our league.
Yeah, I mean, what's hard for Arsene Wenger is he's probably got to convince his board that 20-30 million pounds is more valuable than whether they're going to finish in the top four. So he's got to try and give them the guarantees that he feels the squad's capable of that. From the outside looking in, I'm not sure if they are. Even with Sanchez in the team, it's still a big gamble.
It's not a difficult one for Wenger, is it? If he harbours hopes of finishing in the top four, he keeps him. That's it.
Yeah. But the
has to
hard
keep him
decision
then.
is, do you harbour the hope? How realistic is that hope? That's the decision.
Well, look, if I was Arsene Wenger, I would absolutely keep him because you
Or
stand
you
a
say
better
you get 30 million for it. You might get a replacement, whoever it might be, and that replacement might be more committed, even subconsciously, than Sanchez is.
You've got to play him.
That's not fair to question.
semi-final,
I
he didn't
don't
play
think
him.
it's necessarily fair to question his commitment.
So I'd said even subconsciously. Clearly doesn't want to be there, does he?
Well, he doesn't want to be there, but I wouldn't say that there's a lack of effort when he goes out to play in an Arsenal shirt.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, over the years, Arsenal fans have not been happy with the top four. They rip your hands off for it right now.
Yeah.
If they sell Alexis Sanchez, you're really saying we're not going to finish in the top four.
Right. Yeah. Does anybody think Sanchez is going to stay? Do you think he's going to stay?
No.
No. Beyond January, yeah. No?
No.
I think he'll stay if they don't. If Man City don't up their bid, I'm not sure he goes to Man United as a second thought. I think he stays at Arsenal and he goes to Man City in the summer. Man City don't need him now.
No,
perhaps
Jesus
just
might
for
be back.
the
He might be
Champions
quicker.
League, you know,
Yeah.
because he's not cup tied.
What do you think? It's your article.
I think it'll go.
Your headline.
I think it'll go Man City.
You think he'll go to Man City? Right, another Arsenal player. What about Walcott? Everton?
I think Everton, need a bit of pace in the side. We were talking about them in the green room, and Big Sam's done well. But I think, what are Everton? That's what we did. What are Everton? What are they? Seventh place side, I think. And, I think the Everton fans won a bit of excitement. I think Theo Walcott, although he's not had his best season, I think he's got off his pace. And I watched Everton when they had Lookman and who did they have on the other side? They had
Balassi, Lennon?
Balassi.
Yeah.
In the derby when they got 2-1 in the FA Cup. And when they had Lookman and Balassi with pace, they looked a different side. So I think Theo Walcott will add that. I think he'd be a good signing.
So why do you need Walcott? You've got Lookman, you've got Balassi, and you've got
strength. Strength. They haven't got strength.
He's lost his way at Arsenal. Walcott needs to, needs to move, and he needs to find his A game again because he hasn't had it for a long, long time. And I mean, it looks like as Everton or talk of Southampton as well. I mean, if you're Walcott, I think on balance you'd take Everton over Southampton because they're in real trouble.
I think we're still looking at a prospect, aren't we? I mean, he's 28 years of age. I mean, what is Everton? What is Theo Walcott? Is he a striker? Is he a wide player?
He's not a striker.
Sure.
You've got to play football.
I would play for me, I wouldn't block it up. I would keep Lookman and Balassi, and I would leave.
I think there's still a talent there, though.
But is there more long-term potential development from those two than there would be, clearly, because he's 28 shorter term for
Absolutely. If you want something guaranteed, I don't think Theo's guaranteed, but a lot of managers would pick the more experienced player.
Lookman hasn't been guaranteed, really.
No. I'm not talking. That's what I'm saying. You ain't got a guarantee with Theo Walcott. So you might as well go with a kid who you're going to develop, who's going to be worth some money.
Yeah, but Sam Allardyce isn't worried about development, is he? Sam Allardyce will be going in there. He'll want instant impact, instant results, which is why he'd go for Walcott.
From Theo Walcott's point of view, he has to go and play.
Yeah.
He has to go and play. It's almost like it's been so comfortable for him at Arsenal, for me, to renew a contract, to sit there and not really contribute in the way that he would probably like, but he's got to make that happen. It's almost like he's waiting for it to happen. He's got to make it happen.
But just this time last year, though, at Christmas last year, Walcott had as good a 4 months he'd ever had at Arsenal, and everyone's saying, "Oh, right, this is a Theo Walcott," and then it sort of rather fizzled away. So you say, having not really kicked on from that position even 12 months ago, now
only Arsenal fans are saying that.
Well,
and they've said it many times over the years, haven't they? He's got a couple of good
Right,
ones.
so we've got Arsenal, Everton all linked together. Ross Barkley now, Everton to Chelsea. Where does Ross Barkley, he's not in the 18 today, you're going to keep an eye on the game. Where does he fit into the Chelsea setup?
I think I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. I mean, I look at, they've taken him, you look at the midfield players they have, you look at players like Willian, Pedro, Hazard in those areas just off the front. I'm not sure where he's going to break into that. I mean, it's hard for him. He's coming off the back of 6 months having not played football. So what a challenge for him to get in that team, to get up to speed, to get fit enough and competitive enough to go and play at Chelsea's team. But I think that's a really big task for him.
So those are the attacking positions. Midfield, obviously, you've got Fabregas, you've obviously got Bakayoko, you've got Drinkwater in there as well.
I think that there's a player in there in Ross Barkley. I just think that he needs time. I think it is going to be difficult for him at the start.
Do you think Chelsea's a good move for him though, Chris, in terms of his personal career?
I think time will tell. I think he had to leave Everton. I think he was underappreciated. At Everton, he did lose his way a little bit and has been slightly inconsistent. I think he needs to find his best position, which his best position is the 10.
It's the 10?
His best position is the 10. But, Conte's not daft. Chelsea aren't daft. They must see enough in him to think that he's got enough potential.
Forget Conte. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, because he's going.
Conte's going, and it's not his decision. Obviously, when you sit in a press conference,
he
you just
must
signed a
have had
player
a
for
say in it,
£15
so-
million. He says looks like a good prospect for the club long term. Tells you everything.
So
But he would have had a
So they
say
brought
in
him
that,
in.
Tim.
Listen, for me, Chelsea have bought a lottery ticket. He's no money at £15 million at his age.
Yeah.
And if he cracks it, fine. If he doesn't play for 2 years, they're still going to get £15 million for Ross Barkley. He's a gamble for them. I don't think he'd go straight into their side. Listen, we talked about all their midfield players. Kante is the best midfield player they've got.
Yeah.
And the other midfield player who's, I think, head and shoulders above a lot of them. All right, Fabregas is coming to the end. Loftus-Cheek. He's on loan.
Yeah, I know you love Loftus-Cheek.
He's on
Yeah,
loan
yeah.
at Crystal Palace.
So does Barkley block Loftus-Cheek's development at Chelsea?
Of course he does.
Yeah, they were.
Of course he
Funny
does.
enough, they made a point the other day of saying he didn't. Well, I know they would say.
I think Ross is a good talent, but I think he's not one they brought in to go and make them a better team now. He's one for the future at the
15
club. And
million's no
Conte's
money.
Conte's not going to be there at the end of the
I
season.
mean, you're right. 50 million. 50.
I think
Tim
Tim's
said you
right.
might as
15
well
million
punt
pounds
for
for
15
Chelsea.
million.
It's a great
Yeah.
deal. If he doesn't perform, they can still sell him in 2 years' time for 15, 20 million.
Yeah.
His probably value goes up from being at Chelsea.
No doubt in your mind, Conte's off at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Body
Absolutely.
language,
Tells
frustration.
you everything. Yeah, it tells you everything. Body language tells you everything. He has a lot of periods when he feels like the whole world's against him.
Yeah.
I think he's done a brilliant job, obviously. Won the Premier League last season. I think he's had a good season this year. Take Man City out of it. He's challenging with the best of them.
Sure.
I think he's done a great
Still
job.
in everything.
His stock's massively high. He'll go and walk into any job in Europe.
How does that affect Chelsea for the rest of the season? I mean, they're so used to a changeover in manager, maybe not at all.
They'll take it in their stride. It's part of the course there at the moment. But I think they've gone under the radar a little bit this year. So much attention's been on City and what's been going on in Manchester. I think it's really suited them. And they've gone about their business. They're churning out some results. And they're still hovering around there.
But just with a few issues, Morata, we'll get into it during the programme, you're going to keep an eye on. Morata, great start, great movement still, but suddenly did a brick wall in goal
lost a
scoring.
little bit of confidence. I saw an article earlier this season, he says he's a deep thinker. He worries when he misses chances. You know, I mean, Tim played with Alan Shearer. Never doubted himself. You know, it's a
You
problem.
played with Alan Shearer as well.
Yeah, I did. But, yeah.
You should have said to Chris Morata's missing chances. You could elaborate on that.
But I used to think and worry about missing chances. I think the likes of your Larsons and your Shearers had that, you know, real belief. I think it's affecting Morata at the minute.
Does it affect, just quickly before you go, you missed the chance. So I'm thinking about the league game against
plenty,
Arsenal. He missed 2 chances.
Not for Chelsea.
You think about it immediately. Great to go for a goal kick.
Yeah, no, but I think it's affecting his game. You know, I do think as of late, I think he hit the ground running, scored a lot of goals, confidence up and running. He hasn't played this many games before.
Played more than you, though, didn't he, at Chelsea?
Well, not quite yet, Rob. You got that wrong again. But he's just lost his way a little bit.
What, Robbie or Morata? It's
Robbie had always
Jill's
lost his
social
way.
media reaction.
Well, Morata's recent form has sparked a bit of a debate on social media this week amongst Chelsea fans as to whether they'd prefer Morata or Diego Costa back in the side. So we put a poll out on BT Sports Score on Twitter asking, are Chelsea missing Diego Costa and who would you rather have in your team? The results, quite alarming actually. Morata just with 22% of the vote, Costa winning 78% of it. And then a few more tweets to back this up. Matt McGeehan, who's a Press Association reporter, says, I'm at Chelsea Leicester today and those Diego Costa scarves are proving difficult to shift. James Murphy says Morata is still young, his first season in English football, and he's scored 12 goals, had a few bad games, and everyone loses their mind. Everyone needs to calm down. Ryan has other views. He says, I hated Diego Costa, but he was miles better, to be honest, and still is. James Shipp, on the other hand, says there's so much hate for Morata out there. Give the guy a chance. First season as a first-choice number 9. 10 in 19 games in the Premier League. Confidence is low at the moment, but don't forget Drogba's start at the club. And look how he turned out. Well, let's hear from our fan reporter who's heading to the game today, Rory Jennings.
Oh, Morata, not again, is a sentence I've been saying far too often this season. I like Morata. I've seen glimpses of brilliance and I want to love him, but I remain to be convinced. People like to suggest that it's early stages, they compare his record to Didier Drogba's, but for me he's just too soft. And what he lacks is so vital to a brilliant centre-forward, and that thing is venom, spite, hunger, desire. Just be horrible. Please, Alvaro, prove me wrong.
18.
Interesting. Just a quick one. The Arsenal-Chelsea game, which I went to, the league game, the general feeling was Morata seems a more natural, silky goal scorer. But the general feeling in the Arsenal end was, if Costa had been playing today, Chelsea would have hammered Arsenal because his abrasiveness, the way he intimidates defences and everything. So maybe on that side alone, that's where they really miss him, Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in the Arsenal game especially, that's a side of the game that they don't cope with very well. So I think Costa would have had more of an impact in that match. But
they're just different players, aren't they? And, you know, it's a bit of a silly poll. You know, Chelsea won...
you say that Jules has got a silly poll?
Chelsea...
I thought we got Paul Jules.
You know, however many seasons, won the Premier League, scored a barrel load of goals. You know, the absolute hero. Morata's just gone in there, scored a few goals, has missed a few of late. Give him a chance.
Well, Robbie's got the iPad today, so hashtag BT Sports.
Any
for
silly,
more of the silly polls. I'll see you for...
Don't forget to click subscribe.